people that let that ride all these years, and I always voted for, whoever I thought might do the best job, and I'd cast my vote, and I stood there or, sat down afterwards and hoped for the best and thought that they were going to make the right decisions and represent us. Boy, was I wrong. And I didn't know how wrong I was until the Keystone KXL pipeline fight came along, and I found it necessary I felt, basically called to action. And I'd never been in action in my life, but we had the chance to do that because when TransCanada came to Holt County, Nebraska, my mother-in-law was in a position where she felt like she had no choice other than to sign an easement. Well, we didn't know anything about easements, and we certainly didn't know anything about something called eminent domain. And that seemed to be real big and real scary, and actually something that only a governmental agency might use to create something that served the public in some way. We had no idea that, it caught us by surprise. So when those words were used by the TransCanada representatives, here we are, we're in town, your neighbors have signed easements, and by golly, we want to give you this one-time payment to go across your land, and we want to get along with you, and we're going to be fine about all this stuff, and if you don't hurry up and sign this easement within the next 30 days, we're going to take the money off the table here, and we're going to take you to eminent domain court. Knowing nothing about that sounds pretty damn scary, And so here's my mother-in-law in that position, and so she signed an easement, and I think as soon as she signed it, she had some doubts and regrets, and she didn't know that she had been deceived because she was told things like, all your neighbors have already signed, so you just as well sign. Now, a lot of those neighbors happen to sign in a group forum at meetings and things like that. She was called upon at her house by herself and confronted with the TransCanada land acquisition person, the realtor, and a couple local people that were involved with trying to encourage people to sign easements. And so she did that. And then the next thing that went along with that, of course, is the non-disclosure agreement. The non-disclosure agreement threatened her and scared her to the point that she wouldn't even talk to the rest of the family about what had gone on as far as the easement was concerned. We kind of had to find out about that after the fact, like weeks and months later. And by then, I had met somebody we were building a playground in my hometown, and this young lady with a couple kids was over there helping organize a bunch of volunteers. And I, being the way I am, I was curious, and I went over to this young lady and I said, my name's Tom Janung. I'm a member of the Kiwanis Club. We're helping with building this playground. And what's your name? And she said her name was Jane Klebb. Well, one thing led to another, and the conversation took a couple different. For some reason, our paths crossed. And I said, well, what do you do? And she said, well, I just started this new organization called Bold, Nebraska. I said, well, what's that all about? And she explained it a little bit. Then sometime later, I don't remember just exactly how it happened, but our paths crossed again. And I mentioned this thing that was happening in my family about this pipeline and this concern that I was beginning to have, even though I didn't know anything about tar sands. I didn't know anything about what was going on in Alberta. I didn't know anything about the environmental things other than I didn't think it was a good idea to have this thing on our property. And Jane said, well, as a matter of fact, I just went to a meeting in York, Nebraska, and it's about this Trans-Canada pipeline, and if you want to know more about it, here's my website, and you can just get all kinds of information. Well, that relationship has gone on from there. Many different meetings and getting acquainted with the way Jane likes to organize things. Did you ever notice that she kind of likes to organize and be involved with getting things the way she thinks it ought to be? Well, thank God, in Nebraska, we had that lady move in from Florida, become a Nebraskan, and use her skills to help us. Man, I overuse the word organize, but what else can I say? She taught us how to get together and have some meetings and share information and where to get information and the like of that. And what we've been able to do in various locations across the state of Nebraska is begin, for the first time in our lives, in committee form, representative form, as citizens, as grassroots people, go to county boards, to zoning board meetings, and began trying to influence what was going on. And as we did that, we began to be really frustrated because TransCanada was spending lots of money on not only public advertising, but they have employees that go right to those entities. And so here we are in competition for what we think is the right thing, we know is the right thing, and yet this TransCanada company wants to take our land and put our natural resources, Mother Earth, and the Ogallala Aquifer at risk. So anyway, that being said, a few trips to Washington, D.C., a few invitations to get together in South Dakota. Thank you to Faith Spotted Eagle and many other people. The Cowboy-Indian Alliance got formed, revived. And so here we are, Cowboy-Indian Alliance, meeting in Washington, D.C. on the National Mall, showing President Obama that we do not want him to okay that permit and absolutely deny the permit. Folks, if you haven't paid attention, and I'm sure most of you have, but he has plenty of evidence to say no. Could have done it quite a while back. And who knows what kind of pressure and what his organization must be saying to him to continue things and create things like 90-day extensions. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. But we absolutely are striving to have no permit for the KXL pipeline. So let's hear it for that. Thank you very much.
I want to invite J.B. Weston to come up. When we discussed about having horses involved in the events of the opening ceremony and also the closing, it was really critical to have some key individuals from representing our Dakota people. Every year there's a horse ride, Dakota 38 horse ride that goes 300 miles or 330 miles in memory of the 38 Dakota that were hung. And I won't say too much because I'll let JB say a little bit more about it. But him, along with Darwin Strong and Gianna Strong, they were selected to come to represent that ride that they do every year. So I'm going to ask JB to come up and say a few words. So I'll ask for your applause for JB here.
Like Darwin or Dallas said, we do a ride every December. We start on December 10th in the middle of South Dakota. and we ride all the way to Mankato, Minnesota, in the lower central part of Minnesota. It's back in 1862 there was 300 Dakota men that were going to be hung, and the same time that they had signed the Emancipation Proclamation, Lincoln also signed 38 to be hung. 38 Dakota men from the 300. It went down to 38. So there was a man that had a dream about that and a vision, and there was a ride, a horse ride. And so we started that ride, and my friend Darwin here, he'll talk a little bit. He was there from the beginning. I think I came in on the fourth year of that, and this year will be the 11th year of that ride. But the reason for that ride is because part of our culture and the spirituality of it is that that horse carries that prayer for us. Us as human beings will make that prayer, but the horse will carry that prayer. He'll take that prayer. And so every year we commemorate that, and we take that prayer back, and we do our ceremonies and like that. It takes us 16 days, and during the winter. The 38 were hung on December 26th at 10 a.m. the day after Christmas. So we kind of do that. But along with that, I can't say that's only one ride. There's other rides that happen that we participate in. Out in Wounded Knee, they had a massacre back in the day, and they do how far is that? That's about a 150-mile ride. They've been doing that for like 30 years. And at the same time as our ride, there's also a run. They start at a prison camp. It's called Fort Snelling, and they start at midnight and they run all night. And we, as the riders and the runners, we try to come together and then make a prayer. So what part of, I'll start trying to make sense of this. What you saw at the beginning of this, at the opening, is we got together as the native people, and we started a fire over here, and that fire has been burning. So that's part of our culture. That's the very first thing that we do. And we did that fire ceremony over here, and there was other ones that had done some other ceremonial stuff. We had loaded our pipe, and we prayed with that. So that kind of comes to where I'm at now, is that our pipe, and they call it the buffalo calf pipe. That would be the same as the Bible or the Ten Commandments or something like that. And we have a keeper of that pipe, and he's out in north central South Dakota, and that pipe's been handed down 19 generations within that one family. And this Saturday, when we do the ride, they're gonna start a ride over there. And so there was a whole group that was supposed to come out here and help, but they're all going out to Greengrass, it's called, and they're gonna do a ride and some ceremonial stuff out there. There was people here earlier in the week that went back to participate in that. So again, you could take these guys on that legislative level and things like that, and that's all good. But for us as a people, prayer is always first. We always try to make that prayer first and bring that. And then we ask that help from all those, I would say, unseen things. We ask them to come and help us. And that's our descendancy. So I just wanted you guys to be aware of, not only as this ride is happening, we will be doing that too. And so this fire coordinates with that fire at the same time as this. And I just kind of wanted to say that about the horses. So part of our way, and my friend Darwin noticed this before, and I'll say it, is that before we had the meal here, this gentleman over here, the chef I think he is or whatever, he grabbed a plate and he started gathering pieces of food, and he put it together, and then we did that. We offered that prayer with the food. And to us, the Lakotas and the Dakotas and like that, they call that, Lakotas call it Wopila. Dakotas, we call that Wopida. And so everything that we do and everything that you do here is to always say thank you for those things that help us. Each family here, each person has a descendancy, and you have those things that will help you along the way. So that part of that wopida or that thank you is to always remember that. So with the horses, say thank you to the horses. They carry a prayer. And always remember that descendancy. So I hope I've kind of made sense with a little bit about horse rides and what we do, you know. And so I'll finish right there and let my friend Darwin throw in a few words if he wants.
This Darwin or that Darwin?
Dallas or Darwin, either one. So thank you.
Right.
I think he meant this Darwin. So the other Darwin's too shy over there. So I'd just like to. I'm really happy to be here, and today is a beautiful day, and it's a beautiful moment. Yesterday was windier than crap, so it's nice to have a day where we can just sit out here and enjoy the evening. I wish actually that if this has ever happened again, that you should bring volleyball nets so we can play a good game of volleyball. Yeah. Or I was about to go ask these little hipster kids if we can play baseball with them. But I want to say thank you to everybody, and everything's looking amazing, and the teepee is looking just spectacular back there. The designs, and we're actually way farther than we've done. So props to Steve Tamayo, who's helping design that, and all the people that jumped in to help with that. So yeah, I just want to say those few words. And do we have housekeeping stuff?
The only housekeeping is just to remind people that if you want the map to Carrie's house, again, that's on the back table. If you're going to come with us, you should be here for the morning water ceremony about 9, and then we will leave for Secretary Carrie's home after that. If you're going to meet us there, you should meet us there by 10:45. So be at Secretary Carrie's home by 10:45. So if you're coming to the EPA action, we're going to gather right over here. It's about a 2 or 3 block walk. You can bring your stuff and then leave for your hotel or your home from there, or you could choose to walk back here. There'll be a group walking back here as well. And Dallas and I love you guys. Thanks for being here another day.
We love you too. Woo! Please bring the chairs back in and tidy up the space. We want to make sure we keep everything nice and tidy. If you see any trash, please pick it up. Thank you very much. Is any camera folks missing anything to their tripod? There's a little knob thing.
Okay, we're going to take you over and we're going to show you some of the painting that's been done on the teepee that's going to be presented to President Obama.
Your faces here?
Anyway, we'll just show you a little bit about what's been going on today. This is the teepee that artists and people have been working on painting all day today. I just want to give people a little bit of an idea of what's been going down here at the National Mall here in Washington, D.C. This is your live streamer at Freeman Sullivan. And we're going to take a walk over here to some of the teepees and give you a look at them before we end this live stream. It's a beautiful day out here. It's been a beautiful day all day today. Really gorgeous outside. We're so lucky to have this great weather. No rain, no wind. It's actually quite comfortable out here. So this has been here since Tuesday, and we've been out here. This is going to remain until Saturday. So we just wanted to give you guys that are watching a little peek up into what's going on out here, and some of the beautiful teepees that are out here as well. Of course, we have Leonard Peltier's portrait here on the stagecoach. This is the Cowboy-Indian Alliance. These are mainly people from North Dakota, South Dakota, Kansas, Nebraska, Oklahoma, Texas, Canada. So pretty much all over the Midwest. There's lots of other people from around the country that are here as well. There was an action today at the Lincoln Memorial I didn't live stream that because we had other live streamers. Also, if you're watching, follow Untold Carlisle at Twitter, at Untold Carlisle, and also at Arlington_Hick, Hick, is another live streamer who live streams this event. So you can stick with them, and if I'm not live streaming, because I live stream other events as well, I live stream the U.S. Postal Workers Action Stop Staples. So there's plenty of stuff going on here in Washington. This is the protest season. So here you go, is a little look about what's going on here. And I'll even step up to one of these teepees and show you what they look like on the inside. Not that I'm going to go in, but we'll just give you a little bird's eye view. Or not a bird's eye view, but another view about the inside. So, there you go. So we're out here, and we're going to be out here until Saturday. So if you're in the Washington, D.C. area, please come out and support us. This is No on the Keystone XL pipeline, and we really need your support. And you can help by tweeting this event out, and we need more people to show up, as always. So here you go. This is your intrepid live streamer at Freeman Sullivan signing off. Everybody have a wonderful evening, and we'll be out here all night tonight. So do come down and join us. Much love, much peace, and much respect to everyone out there. Have a good night.